We are here with two of the biggest Instagram celebrities in whatever building they're in right now. Gareth Reynolds and Jose.
Yep.
I believe. And Jose, actually, I'll be honest, I was, as with most things, I was envious of Jose, but recently Jose won me over with that photograph that you took with him in the background.
Called the touchdown.
Yeah. If you don't know, Gareth is a comedian and his cat is his cat. And as with, you know what, any successful podcaster, and I think you could be classified as probably, what would you say, one of the 100 most successful podcasters in that building.
Yeah, in my building. I'm definitely I mean, I would put myself top 100 in the building.
Definitely. Do you live in Studio City?
Yeah, in this building. Yeah.
You're probably top 100 in Studio City.
I'm not comfortable with that. I would say in my building, I'm top 100. I'm good there. I mean, there's like 25 units. So I think I would guess if I'm not that, then it's really not going great.
It's just, I mean, if everyone has as many podcasts as I'm trying to do, then you're in trouble. But
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
If they're any good, that's the difference. Yeah. But you're also from Wisconsin. I mean, you were born in like, Leicester City or something like that.
No, I was born in Wisconsin.
Okay. All right. Sure. Fine. It's okay. It's okay to admit you're a foreigner.
No, even my family is. First of all, it's not anymore. And then second of all, my family's nowhere near Leicester City. Starbridge, mate. Starbridge.
Yeah, Leicester is actually real conservative, apparently. Real kind of like,
yeah, well, they're all crazy now. Doesn't
matter.
That's true.
Anymore. That's true. Everyone is crazy. So we're here ostensibly to talk about you're a Packer fan, and are you a Packer owner? Are you
I'm an owner and a fan.
Did you buy a share of the Packers?
Yeah, of course I did. My mother got me my mother got me one in 96.
Ooh, that might actually there might actually be some kind of like.
There was worth for a minute, and then they've since they've done the other two or three reopenings of it, now it's worthless.
Right. They're like, you can maintain your same percentage of ownership, but now it's $10,000 for one.
Yeah, all I get to say is I actually got it in 96. And people are like, I don't give a fuck.
Oh, the Magic Man years.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, so you're also and let's talk about this for a second. You are going on tour to Australia, I saw in April.
Yep.
But before that, right now you're going to kind of near my old haunts in upstate New York. You're going to Syracuse,
and then Albany the week after.
Oh, that is where are you playing?
I'm doing a Canali tour,
dude. All the architecture.
Did you see that?
I did.
I'm telling you, this guy, he's got moxie.
He doesn't like Albany. It's too many politicians.
No, yeah,
it's all fascist architecture. You'll see when you're there. You maybe.
I was there, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
It's very weird. Ugliest campus in America too. You won't even make it over to there. It's the largest poured concrete structure in North America.
That's just like reaching for a thing to be.
Yeah, but
the largest poured concrete.
Yeah, it's huge. It's
Is this the biggest concrete? No, poured. Settle down over there.
That's layered. That's thrown. Wait, they threw concrete?
Yeah, they threw a bunch. It's actually most of it's thrown.
Well, to keep it sports for a second.
Sure.
I told you earlier that I cried in Syracuse one time.
That's right.
And it was a sports situation. Nebraska had beaten Syracuse. I'm a Nebraska fan. We lived in New York. We lived there and we had moved back to New York. So we had season tickets in Nebraska, but in New York, the college football's shit up there. And Nebraska had beaten them like 80-7 the previous year in Lincoln. And they were ranked number 1 in the country. And so we're going up to Syracuse and we think we're going to see a rout. And we bought the tickets in New York. So we're sitting all amongst New York, upstate New York fans, but upstate New York, but still.
Right.
We're wearing a Nebraska shit. Nebraska lost like 19-18 or something. They just, fumbled it 18 times.
Right.
And I was crying and people were like
crying.
Oh yeah. I was like 11 or 12,
Oh, okay. I need that.
You think I was like 30?
Yeah, I'm like picturing like 10 years ago. Okay.
Once
You're like
again,
11.
you're confusing me with my brother at the Steely Dan concert, where he didn't cry.
He passed out. Yeah. He should have cried. Crying would have been a better move.
I just saw one of those things where it's, it's at a an amusement park, and it's a guy on one of those rides, and it goes real fast, and he's screaming, and then he passes out. So
Oh God.
I was thinking of my brother then, except all my brother did was get yelled at by some lady.
Oh, yelled at. And he just sat there. He's like, all right.
And then he fell asleep.
And then he passed out, like validating her.
Okay. Anyway. Albany, that's great. That's great.
Okay, so you cried.
So I cried there. So yeah, that's what I did in Syracuse there.
Says a lot.
Yeah.
That's probably what I'll end up doing. I thought Syracuse was in New Jersey until 2 days ago. So
that's Sea Caucus.
No, I still think I thought it was. Syracuse, New Jersey just rings to me like one of like Lincoln, Nebraska. It just sounds, and that's what I was promoting.
You were promoting the Lincoln, Nebraska show?
No, I was promoting Syracuse, New York. And people were like, isn't it in Jersey? I was promoting Syracuse, New Jersey. And people were like, isn't it in New York? And I was like, the second I saw that, I was like, oh God, please don't be right. There was like 5 people. I was like, fuck.
You did just prove you grew up in Wisconsin.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff.
So speaking of Wisconsin, your favorite player in the world, let's just go over, because now that this level of drama has seemingly subsided and Aaron Rodgers is going to stay, but let me just go over the past year.
Sure.
Drama about his contract. This is last offseason. I don't know if I could play here. I don't like these guys. They don't respect me.
We call it a case of the Favres.
Right, sure, and yes, I get it. It and it makes sense because they did the same thing to him that he did to Favre, where they got the young guy in there, and he saw what happened with Favre. They chased Favre out of there.
It's a little different, but yeah, basically.
Well, I don't think the new guy is actually Aaron Rodgers.
No, I agree.
Yeah, and I'm sure the Packers do too. So he's crying. Well, this will be my last year, essentially. And then they cave and get him Randall Cobb, really showing how much pull he has, that he can sway him to bring in a 4th wide receiver. Then the season happens. Then he tells us he's immunized, which is his own definition of eating dirt or whatever it is.
Yeah, put clay up his butt.
And then he loses in the playoffs at home again.
Ugh.
Then he gets broken up with by the girl who makes her own medicine. Then he does a huge cleanse where he pukes and shits and bloodlets himself.
I like the cleanse part, but yeah, okay.
Of course you do. You're all like vegan and everything. So I was going to get into that with you. And then he signs this huge contract when a year before he was like, I need to be able to get out of my contract at the end of the year. Make an agreement. So is he still your favorite person in the world?
No, honestly, like in general with football, I'm like starting to not love it as much.
It's hard to maintain.
Yeah.
It can only wane.
Part of it is him and the Packers, but it's really not. It's more that I just am starting to go like, look, all the things that I feel politically are kind of the antithesis of how I feel is what the NFL represents.
Yeah.
You have billionaires. There's a lot of racism. There's ownership.
Sexism.
There's domestic abuse that is allowed unless it's filmed in a Vegas, near elevators in Vegas.
Yeah. And
so I already was starting to be a little like, I don't love the NFL, but I mean, look, he's really, really good. I think whether you want to say he chokes in the playoffs now or the Packers choke in the playoffs now, I put up a fight as long as I could against that argument. And then this year they choked in the first round after being the best team in the NFC all year. And, I'm like, I'm owning it as what it is, that they did and they do. And
well, their
until
team is
further
built
notice,
around an offensive quarterback, and in the playoffs, they play great in domes or in decent weather. And then you get to the playoffs and they have home field and they play on a sheet of ice. And now you've neutralized the best thing about your team, which is Aaron Rodgers.
they have a home field disadvantage, which is rare.
They do, seemingly. And
well,
you're
they
right about
they
the
also
NFL.
their special teams were terrible too, and they brought in the Raiders interim head coach this year, who was a great special teams coach. So I would anticipate that. I mean, I think this most years, but I don't think I'm going to tune in much this year. But I would imagine the Packers will be a lot better when it comes to that. But I would, I mean,
I think they might make the Super Bowl, though, because Brady's gone.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson just got traded to the Broncos.
Yeah.
The Rams, it's just nearly impossible to repeat. So basically, you've got him. You know who the next best quarterback after him is? It's Kirk Cousins.
Oh my God, that can't be true.
In the
no,
NFC,
I would say Matt Stafford is way better than Kirk Cousins.
No. I'm saying, yes, I'm considering. I apologize. I'm saying there's Rodgers, Stafford, and then you have Kirk Cousins.
I mean, if that's true, then the Packers really should go far. But again, I mean, the 49ers, I've just had the Packers number for a long time.
And they beat him there because the Niners have a cold weather offense. And the team is built
but they
for
also,
that.
I mean, I mean, to some extent, I don't know what it is. I mean, I this year was the year where I was like, I'm not going to pretend like I know anymore. Right. I don't know.
You never did.
Thank you.
But let's move on to the cleanse.
I knew more than anyone else in my building.
You were at least amongst the top 100 in
on
knowledge.
On the first floor, for sure.
First floor, sure. How many floors in your building?
I don't want to talk about it.
One?
Yeah.
That's actually good. It's better if it's one.
Yeah, it's one.
So the cleanse. I thought that you would like the cleanse.
I like the cleanse.
Have you done this particular cleanse?
No, I've not done this particular cleanse, but I was like, everyone was like, ew, gross. And I was like, ooh, I kind of like the sound of this one.
There's bloodletting.
Is there for real bloodletting?
Well, that's the fifth step. They don't always go to that extent, but sometimes they'll use leeches in some cases.
I mean, look, if under the
right
lube
up your nose and your butt and your ears, and you lube up all your.
Lube them up? Why am I lubing up my nose and butt?
This is you didn't look this up. Yeah, you like the cleanse. You like the cleanse.
Well, the second that they're putting leeches in my butt, I'm gonna look around and be like, if everyone else is doing it, I guess I'll take a shot. But
the diet is like entirely ghee. You know what ghee is?
Yeah, it's just pure butter.
Clarified butter. Now, in my experience, it also had a lot of weed in it.
Just a Wisconsin quarterback having nothing but butter is like, that's when he won them back. People were like, that's my guy again. I don't care if he ain't getting the vaccine.
This guy did the old Culver's cleanse.
As long as he's doing the butter diet, he's my guy again. Welcome back into the fold, Raj.
You know what? Next thing, frozen custard cleanse.
Tell you what, you might want to throw a little curd in that butter mix, but I'm not going to give a guy nuts. He's a pro athlete. He knows his body's a temple.
Have you ever done any kind of cleanse?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the one where you drink the lemon juice and
I've never really done that one, but I've done a few. I mean, I've definitely.
Friend, you know Bridget, right? Of course you know Bridget.
Yeah.
She's done that, and she usually does it to the point where then she can't spell. Like her hand, she does for like weeks.
Wow. I think when you stop spelling is when they're like, okay, it's time to have some nutrition.
I mean, just at that point, like, just do drugs. If you're going to do the cleanse for that long until you get to that point, cut to the chase, do the cleanse for a week, and then take something else. And
I've done cleanses for like shaman ceremonies. So there is like where you'll
for that show, for one of your shows, right?
No, for my personal existence.
And
where you'll go like 2-3 weeks without tons of stuff, and then you'll go have like a lot of drugs, quote unquote drugs.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly, buddy. Yes.
Oh wait, so you're talking about like an ayahuasca thing?
That's the one.
And you have to do a cleanse before.
Yeah.
Because you're going to puke your ass off anyway.
No, that's is like that's like the reefer madness version of the ayahuasca. That would be like, Joe, you took a bong hit, you didn't try to peel yourself and jump out a window. It's like whenever people are like, what, because you poop your pants? You're like, what are you, 5? I do it, but I don't want to poop my pants. It's like, man, look, we've all pooped. You pooped your pants at like a football game. I'm not sure what's happening with the cat right now. You poop your pants like it's so many other times, and you're just like, I mean, and you don't poop your pants. That's another thing.
It's like George Brett. Have you seen the George Brett thing? Great meal.
No.
After this, when we're done here, look up the first thing you do, look up George Brett great meal.
Okay.
And watch that video. It's him at spring training explaining the great meal he's had.
Okay.
And that's all I'm going to say to you about it. And to you listeners or viewers, I'm going to ask you and invite you to do the same thing. I still want to just button this all up. So you did do this cleanse and then you did the thing. Did you enjoy the spiritual shaman?
Yeah,
stuff?
I always enjoy it. Yep.
You've done it more than once.
Oh yeah.
Does it drain you a lot afterwards?
I mean, it's all kind of tiring, but I mean, it's like, so is a fucking red eye. It's like a day later you feel fine,
Yeah.
No.
But it's different than like
a red eye is what you get when they put a leech in your butt.
Won't you turn my brown eye red?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think there's nowhere to go from there. You're still a Packer fan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still like a Packer fan, and I want the Packers to win, but I really think there's a chance this year that I won't watch the NFL.
That's what I wanted to button up is the NFL is evil ultimately. And when you talk about the punishments, now they had to punish this guy for a year for gambling recently.
Yeah,
but Ray Rice and all the domestic abuse, Josh Gordon lost 4 seasons for smoking weed. Randy Gregory lost 2 seasons for smoking weed. Like
my problems with the NFL are, it's a long list, and it's just got, I mean, watching these fucking billionaires, just be, I mean, like Jerry Jones looks like he crawls out of hell for every game. Jim Irsay is like like if a bag of cocaine did itself for 50 years.
Yeah.
They're just like, it's not cool. And then there's so many other things like, when they do breast cancer awareness, like not a lot of that money goes to breast cancer awareness.
Hardly any.
Right now.
It's the awareness that they're doing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Awesome. Like we know what it is, you fucks. And then Deshaun Watson, the thing I was reading today is, Deshaun Watson has, I mean, at one point he had like, I might be wrong.
22.
But it was like 22 or 23. And now it's like, there's maybe 10 or 11, whatever it is.
There's only 11 criminal ones.
He has a class action sexual assault lawsuit going up against him. And all last year, people were like, well, the Texans are going to try to move him. And then today I'm reading like he might go to the Seahawks. And you're just like, I mean,
like teams are making plans around him.
Yeah. And I'm not saying there is innocent until proven guilty, but there was also the, what the fuck was his name? I think, was it Greg Lawrence?
Greg Hardy?
Greg Hardy, who was like, had abused the fuck out of his girlfriend. And,
on the bed of guns.
Think about Aaron Hernandez. Like, they just ignore the red flags. And a lot of times, players, it can kind of be chicken or the egg, because the amount of head trauma that a player sustains, that fucking fucks with them. So maybe they're extra violent because of that. But either way, the NFL ignores red flags, has no real mental health outreach, and to some extent puts psychopaths on the field. And then you pair that with Kaepernick, who took a fucking knee. And, people are always like, yeah, I agree. Like right now, Colin Kaepernick probably would not be a starting quarterback in the NFL. But you cannot deny
4 years of atrophy.
You cannot deny that he was like, he had just been in a Super Bowl. Like the guy had talent when he was basically blackballed from the NFL. So what gets you kicked out of the NFL or iced out of the NFL is speaking up for civil rights.
Yeah.
And what keeps you going on the field is anything else.
Yeah. The NFL
To me,
is basically they're 70 years behind the times, and they are acting.
And they just keep getting away with it.
It's the impunity. That's it.
So
it's the impunity.
fucking entertaining. And I'm just like, and you know what? I get Sunday ticket. I give them my fucking money. And with the world the way it is right now, I'm like, I don't want the fucking distraction. I'm not saying that I'm gonna like change the fucking world on Sundays, but I might go like volunteer at a place and just, do that and just like have that be a thing I do for a year and just let it fucking go. Because
games, but
yeah, obviously it'll be like I'll be in a soup kitchen, like not paying attention to where I'm putting the soup because I'll be like, oh, the Falcons are just blowing this game. Like, so that's my hand. Like, sorry about that. I'm gonna go to a bar for a little while.
The best thing for the Packers' chances is probably for you to just disengage from it totally.
I agree. I think I at one point will announce that I'm boycotting the NFL for the year, and I fully expect the Packers to go on an amazing run and probably win the Super Bowl. But what I said to my buddy was I would maybe carve out watching the Super Bowl because that's more of a cultural event than watching. So, but still, I'm just like done paying for the experience of the NFL and paying attention to it 3 days a week. Fuck that. Fuck them. All
right. Wow. What a diatribe.
There you go.
All right. Well, have a good time in Syracuse. You know who the greatest?
New York.
Yeah, Syracuse, New York.
Thank you.
Greatest lacrosse player in history went to
No.
Syracuse.
Oh.
Also, maybe the greatest football player in history. Do you know who it is?
No.
Jim Brown.
Oh, okay.
So there's a little Syracuse tidbit.
Yeah. Great.
He was like a
guy.
dominant. Well, imagine
See,
a guy who's great in the NFL, what he's going to do to lacrosse guys who are all like Johns Hopkins.
He played lacrosse amazingly. Wow.
Dominating.
Yeah.
Like,
Sure. I'm sure he's dominating.
Yeah. Like he must have.
Like,
I mean,
Jesus Christ.
Imagine like Ricky Henderson or something playing lacrosse against, again, guys, you and I, if our grades were better, could have played lacrosse at like.
I don't even think we could.
Yeah, dude. Yes, we could.
Okay.
If
I saw Jim Brown on the lacrosse field, I'd be like, this is not
if we were psychopaths and sociopaths.
Yeah, I would see us frolfing a little bit more.
Yeah, we're probably more for soccer, basketball.
Frolf.
What's that?
Frisbee golf.
Oh.
How do you not? I mean, we're going to stop talking in a second, but
when I started,
you don't know about Frisbee golf.
When I started in college, before I ever smoked weed, I went out for the ultimate Frisbee tryouts, and they were all a bunch of stoners, and I was like, "Fuck this." 2 months later, right? I hadn't cut my hair.
Oh, I've seen pictures.
I look like you. I look like you now.
Gorgeous.
Are you doing like, is this in celebration of the Obi-Wan Kenobi, like the trailer that they released today? You're kind of doing some cosplay. You and Jose.
Yeah.
Jose is one of the whatever they are, Inquisitors or Darth Vader, maybe.
Yeah. Jose's an Inquisitor of Darth Vader, and but you sure did smoke weed eventually, huh?
It did.
Okay.
I tried it. And
right,
I'll let you know.
Stuck.
I'll let you know what I think when I'm done with the experiment.
Let me know when you have your second round.
I will.
Okay.
Well, thank you. And bring a jacket. It's cold there.
I'm going to.
Yeah.
I'm going to. Yeah. It's New Jersey, baby.
It's not, but that's all right.
Basically. Yeah.
Just remember that Erie Canal song. They probably didn't sing it in Wisconsin.
No, we don't pay attention to that stuff.